Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching The Sit Down. Time to have a few laughs. Let's do it. Sam Morril's here with us. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. It's a weird time, and I'm sure for you as a comedian, like you're used to being in front of people and not in isolation, so it must be pretty strange.
It's pretty weird. So many weird things have happened, but I started dating a girl. I'm in Los Angeles, staying with her. She's a comedian. Like, if you told me like a year ago that I'd be wiping down groceries with her in like a dream, I'd be like, what the hell was that? So the fact that it's real is pretty crazy.
How long has it been since you were in front of a crowd doing stand-up? Like, when was your last performance?
God, I think it was Sunday, the 8th or something of March, which is making me so sad to say out loud. But I was in Royal Oak, Michigan, and then I flew in a night early to LA, and I did a show at Haha Cafe or something. I don't know what it was, but it was fun. I would perform anywhere right now. I would, if they gave me a mic in the grocery store, I'd be like, I'll risk it. I miss it so much.
It's like all those places you did in the beginning of your career that you wouldn't want to do anymore. Like, you're like, church basement, yeah, let's do it. Or this random club, absolutely.
I never did a church basement. I did some weird Jew gigs for sure.
Yeah?
You know,
Like, what was the weirdest gig you did?
So many weird, restaurant gigs or weird benefit gigs where they're like, it's my birthday. And it's like one guy likes you because it's his birthday and everyone else is like, what the hell is this guy doing with a mic in a restaurant? So, they do the shows early on in your career called ambush shows, which is exactly what it sounds like. You're in a bar, people are eating or having a drink with coworkers, and then someone just shows up with a mic like, all right, guys, you ready for some live comedy? And they're all like, no. And like, all right, well, here's your first comic. And you can't even get mad. You're like, what's your problem? Didn't expect a show to pop up during dinner.
You just got to roll with it. You have no other choice.
It's insane. So, yeah, I would do it. I would do anything now. I miss that rush so much. Even bombing, anything. I don't know.
When did you end up doing your last special? When did you guys film that?
We filmed it in December, and thank God I filmed it because it was one of the things where I was like, do I film it? Do I wait till someone buys it? And I'm so glad I filmed it now because, I'd be going crazy sitting on this hour now. So thank God.
How long did the most recent hour take you to put together?
It probably took me close to 2 years, but then also I was burning other material along the way. Like, I'd post a lot of topical jokes. So, I didn't used to do that. So I'd say, yeah, it took me about 2 years to put together. But I dump a lot of jokes as well.
And I think it's pretty interesting because, like you said, nobody bought it. Like, you guys just did it on your own. So what was the most interesting part of that experience?
I think you just got to believe in it, and you believe that people will like it. And, a lot of networks are just in it to protect themselves, and they don't take any chances. Look at the movies that get made. Think about how many great movies aren't being made right now. And they're like, Transformers 8. And you're like, all right. But I bet there's a hot indie script someone's sitting on right now. So you got to believe that even though someone's not buying it, I do this every night. I work hard. I feel like I paid my dues in this business. So I believe in the product, and you just got to hope that other people will like it and share it.
Do you think the gatekeepers are toughest to deal with? Or like, what do you think are the biggest challenges of comedy right now?
Geez, I don't know. I like to say you're sitting right behind a CBS logo. And I'm like, do you think the industry is tough? Yeah, probably. I don't know. I think they're tough. I don't think they're really willing to take many chances. I think they have no taste for the most part. And I think they go which way the wind is blowing. So if something seems hip at that moment, and I use the word hip instead of good on purpose, because if something feels like it's cool at the time, they're like, it's like they're like poker players, like everything on hip, everything on white guy who wears flat brim hat with no punchlines, and you're like, all right, you don't want a comic who's paying their dues, So I think they go with what they see as shiny rather than what they see as good.
Yeah, and then at the same time, like, you can still do the club thing, and obviously there's people there that are controlling stuff, but like, at least you have the pure interaction of just dealing with people. So like, specifically in New York, like, what are some of your favorite spots in New York you like to perform?
Well, that's the thing, is like a lot of these great comics are in there paying their dues at these great clubs like the Comedy Cellar or, New York Comedy Club's great, Gotham. I don't know, so many good clubs, but and on the road, and these good comics, there's so many killers right now who can't sell a special. I say killers as in comic because if you're a serial killer, you can get a true crime on Netflix in a heartbeat. But these amazing comics can't sell a special. And, you know, if someone's like in a movie, they're like, this guy, he does stand up once every 2 years. So, you know, it's weird like that. I got to imagine if you're like a great musician and you can't sell a record and you see Jeremy Renner in a band commercial, you're like, screw this guy. You know?
You're like, what's going on here? This isn't right.
It's not right.
No, definitely not. So when you think about your career, like what's it been like building out? Like take me back to like the early days. Like when did you realize this could be your thing?
I was probably 18 or so when I first got on stage, and I just graduated high school. I took a class at the comic strip, which I don't recommend in general, but for me, it was a good experience. I really liked the guy who taught it. He was very, his expectations were low, which I think is very key. Just keep there were teachers early on who were like, 6 months, I'll get you on Letterman.
Oh my gosh, come on.
I know, but if you're a young comic, you're like, maybe I'm the one who slips through the cracks.
You're like, yeah, this could be me. Here, take my money. Like, let's do this thing, right?
It's messed up to screw with someone's dreams, you know. So I was grateful that he just encouraged me to go. I was a young, dirty kid who all my jokes were about drinking and sex, and he's like, hey, just try to go cleaner because you could probably do a good job going cleaner. And it was good advice because he said all my favorite comics who work dirty can also work clean. So that was, I thought, some of the best advice.
What was the hardest part about making the transition from the dirty stuff to the clean stuff?
I think it's just at a certain point when you're a brand new comic, you just kind of say whatever's funny, you know, whatever hits. You're kind of like, well, this is my act, you know, and then, or at least I was, and then you get a little older and you want the jokes to be a little more true to how you actually feel or see the world. So I would just say kind of outrageous things when I was younger to get a response.